है, विलन तुमने चूतिया दिखा दिया, अति चूतिया दिखा दिया, उसका कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं है कि भैया ये।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, एक विलन विलन के मामले में मेरा क्वेश्चन है,
हाँ,
हु इज द विलन, हु
जो
इज द विलन ऑफ द फिल्म?
संदीप रेड्डी वांगा इज द विलन ऑफ द फिल्म।
एग्जैक्टली मैन।
When a filmmaker has to sell his family land to fund the production of his first film and is willing to name his first child after the lead character of his debut film, one must understand the type of passionate relationship the individual shares with cinema and the craft of filmmaking. Sandeep Reddy Vanga, the man behind blockbusters like Arjun Reddy, Kabir Singh, and Animal, has been the talk of the town since he made his successful debut in 2017 as the writer and director of Arjun Reddy. Away from all the toxic scrutiny that Bollywood celebrities are subjected to these days, and living a low key life and just working on his films, Sandeep Reddy Vanga has managed to gain a cult like fan following. He is hated by many, loved by even more, and is genuinely a very respected filmmaker in our time. In this video, we will be taking a look at Sandeep Reddy Vanga, his personality traits, as well as his creative decisions in his film, and we'll try to figure out if he's actually as great of a filmmaker as his fans claim him to be, or as terrible of a man as everyone else tries to paint him. This is the curious case of Sandeep Reddy Vanga. Vanga is a graduate of AFTT Sydney, Australia, so it's fair to assume that he knows more about films than the average guy. Vanga's debut film, Arjun Reddy, which he was the writer of as well, is Vanga's own twist on the classic tale of Devdas. Even though Arjun Reddy presented a very basic love story, the execution of the film, the integration of a toxic and problematic character and his traits, the passion that he has for his woman, and an overall great direction has given Arjun Reddy the cult classic status that it has. There are minute creative decisions in Arjun Reddy which the viewer does not notice right away, but it surely makes Arjun Reddy stand out from all the other films in the subconscious of the viewer. One of the examples of this creative decision is Arjun Reddy follows a non-linear structure of storytelling as the film constantly shifts between the present and the past. But the timeline shift is never explicitly stated or shown through a text on screen. But through Vanga's clever direction and editing, the audience never loses track of the film. Animal, another film which I like in parts but not as a whole, follows a similar pattern. Timeline shifts are only made apparent either through dialogues or through editing but never text on screen. More on Animal later. This type of smoothness in screenplay might look simple to the audience, but is only possible when the writer and director have a clear vision of what the film is going to look like as a whole. This one point is enough to suffice as proof that Sandeep Reddy Vanga has his own vision, his own style, which is different from the norm, and has a good vision as a director. Sandeep Reddy Vanga's skills as a filmmaker have definitely brought him to the spotlight, but are those skills the sole reason that he's so successful and respected, or is there more? Be it his post Animal interview with Faridun or his 2019 interview with Anupama Chopra, Sandeep Reddy Vanga is an individual who is not afraid to speak his mind out. Vanga's zero fucks given attitude, arrogance backed by the numbers of his films, and his ability to defend his work are some traits that have garnered him massive respect from his audience. Vanga talking about how critics are illiterate when it comes to films is something that I genuinely resonate with. Vanga's attitude has not only garnered him massive respect but has also become an effective marketing tool because a lot of people are interested in seeing what Vanga would say about the critics post his films. Sandeep Reddy Vanga has definitely proven himself as a very talented filmmaker, a guy who doesn't take shit from anyone, and a menace to the film industry, for which he is both loved as well as hated. I watched Kabir Singh in the summer of 2019, a few weeks before my 19th birthday. In the 23 years of my life, Kabir Singh has been the only film which I have watched thrice in one sitting from start to finish. When I had watched Kabir Singh for the first time, something in that film resonated with me very deeply. Perhaps that was due to the fact that I had just broken up with my then girlfriend. But whatever it might have been, there was a lot of honesty that I felt in Kabir Singh. Were there a few problematic aspects in their relationships? Yes. Was I bothered by them then? No. Am I bothered by them now? Absolutely not, because it's a work of fiction, it's a film, and if you want to know more about my thoughts on that film, please watch this video. Kabir Singh also had an impact on me as a storyteller, again due to the honesty of that character and that relationship. Because of all the controversy surrounding Kabir Singh in 2019, I got really interested in knowing who is the man behind this film. 2019 was a time of my life when I was not able to stand up for myself. I was easily scared, and anyone could shut me down without too much trouble. And that 19-year-old boy saw a man sitting across Anupama Chopra, taking names and defending his film. Vanga was the guy who was standing alone against a mob, symbolically. That day, Sandeep Reddy Vanga gained my respect in a way that cannot be easily taken away. And this brings us to chapter 4. When I had uploaded my video on Animal, I got a variety of reactions. Some people agreed with my video, some people told me that they were not bothered by the plot holes and inconsistencies of Animal and they just enjoyed the film. Some people tried to defend the film by giving me their own interpretations of the character and the story, and some people just called me a beta male. Before I explain you my problem with the Tripti Dimri arc in Animal, I'll explain you why and how it is a big plot hole, and this time in Hindi. जोया रणविजय के घर आती है, उससे एक बार मिलती है और चली जाती है. अकॉर्डिंग टू जोया, अबरार का प्लान है कि वो एक डुप्लीकेट रणविजय बनाएंगे जो कि जाके रणविजय की पूरी फैमिली को मार देगा जब रणविजय जोया के साथ होगा. बट जोया तो जा रही थी ना, एंड ऐसा तो नहीं है कि वो दोबारा रणविजय के घर में आ जाती, वो दोबारा उससे मिलती. तो अबरार का प्लान एग्जैक्टली था क्या? अगर अबरार को ये लग रहा था कि जोया इतनी सुंदर है कि रणविजय देखते ही इस पे लट्टू हो जाएगा, अपनी बीवी पे चीट कर लेगा, तो ये बहुत ही एक फार फेच्ड प्लान है. बिकॉज तुम कुछ भी कर लो, तुम किसी इंसान की साइकी नहीं जान सकते कि वो ऐसा करेगा ही करेगा. किसी की हैबिट से एक पैटर्न निकाल के प्रेडिक्ट करना अलग बात होती है, बट अगर एक इंसान 8 साल से मैरिड है तो द चांसेस कि वो एक बंदी को देखते ही उस पर झपट पड़ेगा आर वेरी वेरी लो. तो अबरार का ये प्लान लक फैक्टर पे काम कर रहा था. तो अगर हम ये चाहते हैं कि हम अबरार को एक बहुत ही मास्टरमाइंड देखें, बहुत ही खतरनाक विलन देखें, तो खतरनाक विलन्स अपने प्लान को लक फैक्टर पे नहीं चलाते हैं. अबरार का प्लान इस पॉसिबिलिटी पे काम करता है कि रणविजय अपनी वाइफ पे चीट करके जोया के पास चला जाएगा, एंड रणविजय वही करता है. मगर जब रणविजय जोया के पास जाता है अपने दादाजी के घर में, तब ना उसे अबरार के बारे में कुछ पता है, ना उसे उसके प्लान के बारे में कुछ पता है. तो रणविजय ना जानते हुए भी वही चीज़ें कर रहा है जो अबरार चाहता है कि वो करे. मगर रणविजय अपने एक अलग मोटिव के साथ जोया के साथ लगा पड़ा है. बेसिकली ना रणविजय अबरार के प्लान के बारे में जानता है और ना अबरार रणविजय के मोटिव के बारे में जानता है कि वो क्यों जोया के साथ है. बट इनडायरेक्टली, और शुड आई से कन्वीनियंटली, अबरार और रणविजय दोनों वही काम कर रहे हैं जो सामने वाला उनसे चाहता है. अबरार उसके घर में एक लड़की को भेजता है और रणविजय उसी लड़की पे लट्टू हो जाता है, प्रिटेंड करता है लट्टू होने का. अगर अबरार का प्लान ये है कि जोया वहाँ जाके रणविजय को देखे और वापस आके अजीज़ की सर्जरी करवाए, तो एक बार रणविजय से मिलके आई डोंट नो वो ये कैसे कर पाती. अगर अबरार का प्लान ये था कि जोया वहाँ जाए और रणविजय के साथ रिलेशनशिप में आ जाए, अगेन एक बार में मिलके वो कैसे कर पाती. भाई, विलन का प्लान शुड बी इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ द हीरोज एक्शंस. विलन तो ऐसा प्लान बनाएगा ना कि हीरो उसका उसमें कोई हाथ नहीं होगा, वो प्लान अपने आप काम करेगा, है ना. हीरो को पता भी नहीं चलना चाहिए. बट तो अगर लेट्स अज्यूम कि रणविजय अगर जोया को नहीं रोकता तो जोया चली जाती. तो वही ना, मतलब विलन का पूरा प्लान इस चीज़ पे काम कर रहा है कि हीरो उसमें इंटरफेयर करेगा. और हीरो इंटरफेयर इसलिए करता है क्योंकि हीरो बहुत स्मार्ट है. आई डोंट थिंक अबरार के पास कोई भी जरिया था ये गेस करने का कि रणविजय इतना स्मार्ट है कि वो देखती जोया को पहचान लेगा और एकदम उसे सेड्यूस करके सब उगलवा लेगा. एंड अगर रणविजय जोया को सिर्फ यूज़ कर रहा है इन्फॉर्मेशन निकलवाने के लिए, देन जब जोया आसपास नहीं है तो वो अपने दादाजी से ऐसी क्यों बात कर रहा है कि दादाजी क्या आपके टाइम में आउट ऑफ मैरिज आपने कुछ किया था?
अरे जी, आपके टाइम में आउट ऑफ मैरिज कभी नहीं।
सो लाइक वांगा ने क्लियरली पूरा ट्राई किया था ऑडियंस को ये बिलीव करवाने का कि रणविजय कुछ गलत कर रहा है ना? तो ऐसे कोई क्लूज ही नहीं छोड़े बीच में जिससे हम रणविजय को समझ पाए कि हाँ ये जो कर रहा है ये एक्चुअली एक मिशन से कर रहा है। और फिर जब वो फाइनल रेवलेशन आता है इट फील्स वेरी चीप, अनअर्नड। एंड जेम्स बॉन्ड की फिल्मों में भी तो सेड्यूस करके ही सच निकलवाया जाता है। बोलने से पहले ये देख लो कि हम कोई जेम्स बॉन्ड मूवी नहीं देख रहे हैं। नाउ दैट वी आर कॉट अप विद हाउ दिस प्लॉट लाइन इज अ प्लॉट होल, here's my problem with it. The problem is not that Ranvijay was shown cheating on his wife or infidelity was shown. The problem is that it was not clearly set up and it makes no sense in the story. And when you have confidence in a director that he is a good storyteller, but what you see on screen is a mess ridden with plot holes, you are bound to get pissed off. And you are bound to question whether the director wanted to show something that is an organic progression to the story or something that would just trigger the audience. When Kabir sort of forces a girl to take her clothes off or when he slaps Preeti, it is shocking. But both the scenes have a purpose in the film. One is to establish the character's messed up headspace and the other one is meant to show how his action changed the trajectory of his life and his relationship. But in Animal, the cheating arc exists because Vanga wanted to show the extent to which Ranvijay can go for his father.
There's a little nudity in it, but I didn't want it to sound sleaze. I want the audience to see like to what happened. Why is he going to that extent? It's a deliberate. It's like they're lost, just to give a feeling that suddenly what happened? What is this new love story? And from there, within no time, I want to get to a point where she'll open the backstory. So when he says like I knew from the day one that you are this, then there's a question that he could have threatened her. But knowing the fact, if you threaten, she'll not open.
Yeah.
So I wanted
You have to seduce.
Yeah, I thought like you've gone to that level also. That okay, I'll get this out.
But again, the plan makes no sense. Vanga could have made Zoya to be one of the doctors who treat Ranvijay in the second half of that film. In this way, Zoya would have been someone who actually visits Ranvijay's house from time to time, who has access to him, and we would have felt that the threat on Ranvijay and Balbir is much more severe. If Zoya was one of the doctors but was planted by Abrar in that film, she would have actually been a mole. And as Ranvijay's doctor, she would have been able to provide much more accurate details about his body to Abrar in order to create a body double. Moreover, Ranvijay pretending to fall in love with someone who is literally fixing him would have been much more acceptable and understandable and believable to both Zoya and the audience. And the lyrics to the song Pehle Bhi Main would have made so much more sense in that context. Maybe we would have followed Vijay and Zoya's journey in the second half of that film so that the revelation in the end that she's working with Abrar would have been much more hard hitting and shocking to the audience as well. But what happens in the actual film is that a new character is introduced 40 minutes before the film ends. The guy we have been following throughout the film makes a 180-degree turn and cheats on his wife. And before we have time to process any of this, we are hit with the revelation that पहले दिन से पता था तू कौन है. The scene that follows, that is the argument scene between Gitanjali and Ranvijay, is so well acted, is so intense, and basically carried by Rashmika Mandana.
I really wish he had died that day.
But at the same time, it fails to grip me because Ranvijay's refusal to understand his wife's pain is just frustrating.
Gitanjali, you forgave me for so many murders. You cannot forgive me for sleeping with one.
Now one can dismiss it by saying that Ranvijay is blinded by vengeance. And maybe I would have given it a pass. But earlier in the film, there is another argument scene between the two characters in which Ranvijay says and does a lot of things.
Think like a man, Gitanjali. Think like you have biceps like me. और ये chest ऐसा नहीं, मेरे जैसा है.
But is immediately worried about his wife, asking her if he hurt her.
Hey Gitanjali, did I hurt you when I did this? Huh? Did you get?
You didn't hurt me.
Even though we see Ranvijay getting carried away by anger from time to time, we also see that he is thoughtful, he is mindful of his wife, and he knows when he might have hurt her. So his refusal to understand her pain is kind of frustrating, and the placement of Satranga in that scene is just fucking horrendous. If you watch my previous videos on Vanga, the ones I had made before the release of Animal, you would see that the confidence and the faith that I had in the man. I was not triggered by the brass strap scene. I was not triggered by Ranvijay saying, I will slap you so hard like I slap other men around. I was not triggered by Ranvijay saying, Gitanjali, you have a big pelvis. Because even in those scenes, Vanga's intention of what he was trying to do and how he was trying to get in the skin of certain people was very clear. It was not deviating from the story, or it was not butchering the character on the understanding of that character that I had up until that point. The character stayed consistent throughout those dialogues, but that was not the case after the Tripti Dimri cheating arc. And when I realized that Vanga managed to trigger a lot of people at the expense of his own story, his own film, a film which I had enjoyed up until that point, I don't see how my disappointment with the film makes no sense to people. In Kabir Singh or Arjun Reddy, we get a sense of honesty. Honesty in Kabir's love for Preeti, honesty in Kabir's understanding of what kind of man he is, and honesty in Vanga's understanding of what type of story he is telling.
मेरे लाइफ में एक ही चीज़ है जो मैंने अपनी मेहनत से बनाई है, माय करियर। एक ही चीज़ है मेरी जो मुझे अपने बारे में अच्छी लगती है। I'm a full-blown alcoholic and I have a drinking problem.
Unfortunately, I did not feel that honesty in Animal, neither in the character nor in Vanga. In Vanga's interview with Bharadwaj Rangan, he talks about how he broke a few screenplay rules, like opening the villain quite late in the film, or introducing a new character 40 minutes before the ending, or showing how the main character lost at the end of the film. Well, about the villain, Bobby Deol's character was very underdeveloped for me. And the last fight with the B Prague song was not something I was very emotionally invested in or cared about. So opening the villain so late did not work for me. Moreover, if you watch the film from the perspective of Abrar, he is the typical Bollywood hero. Someone who was done wrong by the rich, whose father and grandfather were killed because of the rich, and now he's trying to avenge. Now he's trying to destroy that rich guy who did his family wrong. That's the traditional Bollywood revenge template. So Abrar is basically the more sympathetic character in the film. But because we don't see too much of him, because we only hear about his motivations and we never see his pain, I never got to see him as a sympathetic hero or a very terrifying villain. And about the character losing at the end, I am completely okay with it. I am completely okay with the writer choosing to nullify all of the character's actions, signifying that no matter what he does, he cannot save his father. But if you have set up that the character's actions are irrelevant and pointless, why set up a sequel? Wouldn't I feel the same about the sequel as well, that no matter what the character does, it's all pointless. He cannot achieve anything, he will not win, he will lose. Whatever I'm watching is just mindless because none of it would mean anything by the end of the film. The character does not learn anything about himself because, even at the end of the film, he's justifying his gun and violence.
और मेरी गन और वायलेंस की वजह से ये घर आज भी आबाद है।
He fails to save his father, he sabotages his own marriage, he fails to completely eliminate the threat because other Abrar's brothers are coming after him. The body double, the duplicate that Zoya talks about is still created by the end of the film. So he stops nothing. He accomplishes nothing at the end of the film. And I'm fine with it, but it just makes it hard for me to care about the sequel. The more I think about Animal, the more plot holes I find in that film. Vijay clearly heard Varun talk to Asrar on phone, and Asrar mentioning his brother.
What should I tell my brother? कि तुझसे गलती हो गई?
So Vijay clearly knows that Varun is indulged with someone in this attempt to assassinate his father. Maybe he could have beaten up Varun. Maybe he could have made passionate love to his brother-in-law, making him fall in love and reveal what his plans are. We see Ranvijay talk about how he patiently waited to beat up a few guys when he was in school.
वेट करने के बाद जो मारने में मजा है ना, अब भी वेट कर रहा हूँ, आप भी वेट करो ना.
So I don't understand why Ranvijay was so eager to kill Varun that he had to do it in broad daylight in front of so many people. It's weird. Like it doesn't make sense. It's there for the shock value, but when you think about it, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Is Sandeep Reddy Vanga a misogynist? No. Now one might bring up his problematic characters, the things they do, or the problematic statements that Vanga says in his interviews as proof that yes, Vanga is a misogynist. But let's take a look at the word misogyny. It's defined as hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against women. Now, before I come to Vanga's statements, I want you to think about the type of relationships people share with their friends or with their siblings. In those relationships, there is verbal banter, sometimes playful, sometimes not. In some cases, there are physical altercations and fights. I don't abuse my friends because I know they will not retaliate or vice versa. We abuse each other because that's an honest expression of our emotional state at that point of time. There are no power dynamics. While in abusive and toxic relationships, there is a sense of power dynamics which is often misused. Now, when Vanga talks about the couples having the freedom to hate each other, he makes it clear that it goes both ways.
When you are deeply in love, when you are deeply connected with a woman, or vice versa, I mean, there's a lot of honesty in it. And if you don't have that physical demonstration of, if you don't have the liberty of slapping each other, then I don't see anything there.
From what I understand, Vanga sees romantic relationships in the same light and with the same lens as he sees sibling relationships or friendships. Vanga does not talk about the power dynamics or how one gender can hit the other gender and the other one has to endure. He talks about an honest expression of emotional state. Do I agree with what he says? No. Do I understand where his viewpoint is coming from? Absolutely. And you don't have to agree with Vanga's statements or his way of living life in order to understand that what he's saying is not misogynistic, rather his own twisted take on what romantic relationships and honesty looks like. This viewpoint of Vanga is also reflected in his movies like Kabir Singh and Animal. When Vijay is messing around with Geetanjali's bra strap, he turns around to give him a tight one across the face. Ranvijay is not flabbergasted. He was not like, how could she do that? How could she hit me? The look on his face is that of, oh yeah, well, I deserve that.
Won't.
He knows that Geetanjali has the right, the power, and a reason to slap him. And he accepts it. Kabir is not flabbergasted when Preeti slaps him.
Sorry.
Again, you don't have to agree with Vanga's views or the way he lives his life to understand that he's not a misogynist. Coming to the characters, I have already made a dedicated video on Kabir Singh explaining why that film does not promote misogyny or toxic masculinity. But here are a few more things. Here is a deleted scene from Arjun Reddy in which the title character is talking to Shiva, explaining how Preeti's father is an asshole for judging their relationship, and Shiva corrects him, telling him why his hatred towards Preeti's father is unjust.
అరే నువ్వేదో ప్రీతి అంటే నీకు చందమామ చుక్కలంత లవ్ అనుకుంటున్నావు కదా, వాళ్ళ నాయనకి మిల్కీవే గ్యాలక్సీ కంటే తక్కువ లేదరానికి. వాడు దుర్మార్గుడు, వానికేం తెలుసు ప్రేమ గురించి, వాడు నిజంగా వాని కూతురుని అంతగానం ప్రేమిస్తే వాడు మాకెందుకు అడ్డం పడతాడు అనుకున్నావా? వాడిని ఈ స్టోరీలో అడ్డం పడ్డాడు కాబట్టే దట్ ఈస్ వేర్ హీ షోస్ హౌ మచ్ హీ లవ్స్ హిస్ డాటర్. దట్ ఈస్ హిస్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్. అండ్ ఈ మొత్తం సిరీస్లో నీ కోపం ఒకటే నీకు శత్రువైందిరా. బా ఏం కనిపిస్తున్నారా కానీ ఇవాళ నాకు. ఎందుకంటే ఫస్ట్ టైం నా లైఫ్లో నేను చెప్పిన మాట నువ్వు మూసుకొని విన్నావు కాబట్టి.
Now this scene is not in the final cut of the film, but the fact that this scene was written and shot is now available as a deleted scene should suffice as proof that Vanga knows where his characters are wrong, where the mentality is wrong. Similarly, at the end of Kabir Singh, when Kabir goes to talk to Preeti, he goes up with this facade, with this attitude.
Preeti. Listen, Preeti, I want to talk to you. Listen to me. Preeti.
But Shahid Kapoor's performance under Vanga's direction clearly conveys that deep in his heart, Kabir knows that he has no right to talk to Preeti with any sort of attitude, or he doesn't have any right on her anymore. It's only after Kabir lets go of his tough exterior and becomes vulnerable in front of Preeti that things work out between the two.
Preeti. Preeti, please talk to me. Preeti, I really want to talk to you, please.
No toxic man would break down his walls in front of a woman. No toxic man would be willing to accept another man's child. And no toxic man would write the ending of Kabir Singh and the deleted scenes from Arjun Reddy. Can arrogance be considered one of the toxic traits of Sandeep Reddy Vanga? Perhaps. Is misogyny one of his toxic traits? No. The fact that I'm still talking about Sandeep Reddy Vanga and Animal should signify how much I was rooting for this film. This also signifies that the film is worthy of discussion and analysis. And as I have rewatched Animal and listened to Vanga's interview as research for this video, there are some creative choices and little details that I came to know about which I find really cool. Animal is a very well shot, well acted film. The high visual quality of this film represents the amount of high efforts that went into the production of this film. When I walked out of the theater to have a cup of water during the intermission, I actually said to my brother that this might be one of the best movies of 2023. But unfortunately, by the end of the film, all I could think about was how frustrating the film has been, with a convoluted and plot-ridden cheating arc and finale. The success of Animal has given Vanga the green light or the confidence to go darker in Animal Park. I really hate that title, but in my heart, I'm hoping that Animal Park is good. I want it to be good, but this time I will have my expectations managed. I will not go in expecting like I'm going to watch one of the greatest movies ever made. And I would still love to watch Vanga's films. It's not like I hate the guy and I don't want to watch any of his films. I want to watch his films and I want his films to be good. I want Spirit to be good. I want Animal Park to be good. I want Vanga to make more movies which are good, great, excellent. I would love to watch Vanga's interviews. I would love to break down his films. I would love to watch Vanga succeed because I genuinely have respect for the man and the passion that he has for cinema. All that Vanga has to do is not to get carried away by his own sense of greatness.